Welcome to this bite-sized CI session looking at SMART objectives. Firstly, I will introduce you to the continuous improvement framework we use at SHU. It is loosely based on the Six Sigma DMAIC framework, which you can see to the left of the screen. We adapted this framework to use language that was better suited toward a higher education setting, and as a result developed the cycle you can see on the right. The 5 phases within our SHU framework include startup, investigate, problem definition, options, and implementation. This framework is underpinned by the A3 Improvement Charter, which I will refer back to at the end of this session. Taking a look at the cycle in a more linear fashion, you can see that the stages go across the top and that we have a list of tools and techniques that sit under each stage. SMART objectives is a form of action planning which sits under the implementation stage of the framework. This is where the hard work begins. At this stage, you have to ensure that the correct actions are taken forward and that changes are being implemented. If you attend our 4-part modular training course, you can roughly see how we move through the stages in each module. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Each element of this framework works together to help you create, track, and accomplish both short and long-term goals. In some instances, you may come across a slightly different version of SMART, with A meaning action-orientated and R meaning realistic. Both frameworks are widely used, so it is better to use whichever version resonates the most with you. SMART objectives help to clarify your ideas, focus your efforts, use your time and resources productively, and increase your chances of achieving your end goal. The framework provides a great point of reference when creating and starting any new action plan. It is a handy prompt that helps to give you a sense of direction and prevents your targets from becoming too vague and feeling unachievable. When starting an action plan, it is important that you fully understand what you want to achieve. Instead of thinking of it as an objective, try to think of it as a problem to be solved or an idea to be implemented. When thinking about this, we recommend using 6 Honest Men. This is a simple analysis tool that is used during the problem definition stage of the SHU CI framework. It is a straightforward framework that asks the what, the why, the when, the how, the where, and the who, which helps to extract more information and better define your problem. This tool is very flexible and can be used in lots of different situations, so if the wording from SMART doesn't resonate with you, try asking yourself these questions. Whilst I explain the basics of SMART objectives, you will also be able to see on this slide how the 6 Honest Men tool can be used as a prompt to consider each element of the SMART framework in more detail, simply by asking what, why, when, how, where, and who questions. Specific. What exactly are you going to do? How can we fix this problem? What specific improvements do we want to see? Measurable. How will you monitor and evaluate progress? What is our starting point and what is our end goal? How will we know when the problem has been resolved or when improvements have been made? Achievable. Is this within your scope or control? Who will need to approve this? Who will do the work and who else needs to be involved? Relevant. Why are you doing this action? Do we understand the root cause? Who will benefit from this idea and what will the outcome be? And lastly, time-bound. When are you going to start and finish it? When do our actions need to be completed by? How often will we review our progress? This is an example of a personal development review, otherwise known as a PDR. Within this, I have outlined that I want to improve my leadership skills in 3 months by attending training courses and establishing a mentor. However, this objective overall is not SMART, and it requires a lot more investigation in order for it to become actionable. Let's look at this in a bit more detail. How is improving my leadership skills relevant? What am I actually trying to achieve? To ensure this is specific and achievable, I need to provide more detail on what training courses I will attend and how I will establish a mentor. In addition to this, I need to consider if I am in full control of my actions, or whether I will need support from my team or department in order for this to be achievable. If my measure of success is to have better leadership skills, how will I know when progress has been made? And lastly, what exactly am I trying to achieve in 3 months? What actions need to be completed by when? In this next example, you will be able to see how applying the SMART principles has helped me to redefine and strengthen my goal of improving leadership. This objective is now specific and relevant, as I've outlined that I hope to become a line manager as a result of improving my leadership skills. It is specific and achievable, as I've broken down what my next steps are in detail to help me stay on track towards achieving my goal. I have also considered who else will need to be involved and what resources I need in order to help me achieve my goal. It is measurable as I have identified my baseline by assessing my current leadership skills, which enables me to track and then identify when progress has been made. And lastly, I have set specific deadlines around my actions to encourage me to hit key milestones, making the objective time-bound. Remember, if you're struggling to apply the SMART principles, focus on asking yourself what, why, when, how, where, and who. This is our A3 improvement charter that I referred to at the start of the session. Using an A3 is an ideal way to capture information regarding improvement work on one page. You can see here the SMART objectives can help to strengthen your actions and next steps, establish your long-term goals, and implement an effective action plan that allows progress to be tracked and reviewed. So that concludes this session on setting SMART objectives. If you have any questions or would like to know more about CI activities or training, please get in touch via the CI mailbox. You can also find additional updates on what we've been up to by following us on Twitter. Thank you for listening.